Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Conqueror Gun Carriage. It's a tier 10 British SPG. It's located on the southwest spawn of Live Oaks, and it's under the command of Rollin5 of the SIGNO clan.
Let's get this show on the road.
That sounds female and decidedly British, but Rollin is actually from the United States. You can see the stars and stripes on top, Old Glory, on the roof of his vehicle. Now, Rollin's actually trying to complete the missions for the Object 260, and you can see he's got to do SPG 15, which means doing a lot of damage, and also to immobilizing a few enemy tanks and having them damaged whilst they were immobilized by him. So it's a difficult mission, but it can be done. Okay, lining up the T100 LT, which is a fast mover. Wait for it. Okay, he's coming around this side. Looks good. Rounds out. Oh, he looked away. Yes, you shouldn't look away. You've got to see what your shell does, because it could be a blind hit. It could be that you overshot by a little amount and just need to adjust your fire. But you need to see what your shells do. I know a lot of people do look away after they shoot, but we try to persuade them not to do it because it's so important to know what your shells are doing. Well, the standard reload is 44.10 seconds, and he's got a reload of 34.48, and he's done it again.
That was close.
Now, we do say to players, if you keep looking away after you shoot, we won't do your videos because you're denying the viewer the information that you can actually get from actually seeing it. Now, in the past, Wargaming had it so that we could actually take control of the camera and stop you from looking away. But we can't do that nowadays because Wargaming made an adjustment and now it's not possible. So if you keep doing it, we will have to say I'm sorry, but no more. Well, he got it right that time. He actually did get the shot. And we saw what happened. It landed behind the Object 452K. Let's hope he keeps doing this. We don't mind you relocating to try and avoid counter battery, but you're not under counter battery fire at the moment. And you can move the vehicle while still watching what's going on to the enemy tank and your shell. Now, he's not fully loaded yet. There he is. He's loaded now. Lines it up, rounds out, looks, and good. Yes, he got a direct hit. The 452K felt that one, and he got stun assist as well, and a massive amount. Oh, he's really collecting it. Look at that. I think he's actually got his mission conditions already, or at least one of them. He's got the assist, I think. We'll check that later on as he gets closer. Now, the Conqueror Gun Carriage was supposed to be made from the Conqueror Heavy Tank with a 7.2-inch howitzer, or 9.2-inch howitzer, I should say, but it never actually got built. It's an interesting concept because it actually does look very much like a lot of the Arty today, you see, but no, it's actually a fictional tank. It's a figment of Wargaming's imagination, and they do have a rather fertile imagination sometimes. Now, there's a number of tanks down here. They're getting absolutely hammered, and he's actually now looking to the north, and that's probably the correct thing to do because our guys need some help to try and take down these tank destroyers over here. Their E3 is lining up a shot. Oh, he did it again. Now, we didn't see what happened to that shell, you see. I cannot stress highly enough how important it is to watch what happens to your shell. You do know that Aslains actually has a mod which allows you to follow the shell through the air and actually see it impact on the target. You can actually get that and watch the shell, although it's a little disconcerting to actually follow the shell through the air, and he's done it again. Now, he got a direct hit there, and he got more stun assist, but he's actually moving slightly further away from the enemy cap, his own cap rather, and there's a good reason for him not to go down the dip and cross the bridge, because the enemy might see him, and if they do see him, they might decide to shoot at him. But there are a number of targets that are just out of range, so that's why he's actually moving. Can you get a shot on that E3? He does it again.
Under pressure.
The other thing that I would say is you're going to get less viewers for your video, simply because people don't like it when you do this. Some people just won't even watch the video if people do this, simply because it prevents them seeing what's actually going on. So if you want your videos to be seen, you need to watch your shell, and if you don't watch what happens to the shell, then we have the right to say, nope, we're not going to do your videos and you'll miss out. Sure, it's entirely up to you, but we will ban you from the channel if you do that. See, and he's done it again. So this looks like it's going to be your only video on our channel. And I think you'll probably see quite a bit of criticism by some of the other viewers because you denied them a look at what actually happened. I know people don't like it when I keep going on, but I really do. It really gets me annoyed that I go to the trouble of actually doing these videos, and then you ruin all the time I've spent doing it, which I could have been doing something else. Rounds out. Now you're watching this one.
Hey, that was a good hit.
Yeah, that was a good hit, and you watched it. Why couldn't you do that for all the other shots? Why? There was no reason for you to be looking away when you fired the other shots in. There's only 2 enemies left now. The Object 261 TVP. There's absolutely no reason for you to look away after you shoot. Okay, TVP's gone, and the Object 261's gone, and that is the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Rollin5 in the Conqueror Gun Carriage. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 8, and he got a Confederate medal as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. If we look at the team scores, we can see the highest damage actually went to the TVP T5051 on the enemy team with 4,369 hit points, but it wasn't a high caliber because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool. Second highest damage went to the Unis 1516 on Rollin's team with 3,271, and Rollin was actually third with 3,171 hit points of his own. It's just such a pity that we never got to see that damage being done. When it came to kills, we can see the highest number went to the M48 A5 Patton, the A50 Foch, the Object 268, and the Object 261. They all got 2 kills. Nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill, and only 4 players actually got a kill at all in that game. So I think this team was well overmatched. When it came to, we didn't do base XP. So look at base XP. Rollin got the highest on that one. 952 went to him. 921 went to the UDAS 1516, and 897 went to the BZ75. Okay, he fired only 10 shots in that game. He got 5 direct hits in it and 13 splashes. 3,171 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 1, so there's an 8 difference there for the Confederate. 5,055 hit points of stun assist off 11 stuns. That's the ace tanker. And he earned a profit of 100,546 credits. That's a good profit. And 9,282 experience points out of it as well. And the game only lasted 6 minutes and 59 seconds. And he did complete SPG 15 for the Object 260. So he's got the War Gods one, or that mission. But sadly, his technique needs a little brushing up, I'm afraid. Rollin, you have to look at the enemy tank and see it as it gets hit. You don't have to follow the shell through the air, as I suggested you can on Aslains, but you do need to see where that shell goes, especially if it's a blind hit. If you fire at a bush and then look away straight away because you don't want to see what happens to the bush, you might miss the fact that you actually hit a tank that was in the bush, because the shell disappears without any explosion. And that's something you wouldn't see if you keep looking away. There's lots of information that we can get from watching what happens to a shell. It might actually be that you won't have the ability to see which module was knocked out on the enemy tank. You can get a skill that will actually show you that. But if you see an Arty shell hit a particular type of the turret or part of the turret, if you know where the layout of those people within the turret, you might know that the commander or the gunner or the driver has gone down because of where the shell landed. These are important bits of information that you need to learn, especially if you land the shell on the engine deck and it might actually knock his engine out. That might be information that's very, very useful to you in terms of what you do next. So please do not look away. And if you can't look away, if you have to keep looking away, please don't send any replays in, because I'm just going to reject them if you do. And you're wasting the time that I put into actually producing these videos. Because if I'm going to produce a video and people are going to complain because they can't see the enemy being hit, then it's not worth my while doing it. And I'd much rather use that time making a video for somebody who does watch what happens, because that's the way you're supposed to play Arty, to watch what happens to the shell. You're not supposed to fire and look away straight away and just work off what the information comes up on your screen, because it may not tell you the information on your screen you need to know, that you actually did get a blind hit, or that you have affected the enemy somewhere that is important. So there you have it. I'm afraid that's probably going to be your only video for What Arty Noobs. It's a pity that it came out like this, because I thought that when I first saw that this was going to be an SPG-15 completion, that it would actually show a really good battle with one of the bigger scoring Artys in the game. But sadly, it didn't turn out that way. We did see SPG-15 completed, but we didn't see the shells touching the target, except on a few occasions. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give the video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.